how to market something no one knows exists. So I'm a marketer. Of course, I'm most comfortable making videos, writing blog posts, posting on social media, hiding behind my computer and not actually reaching out and talking to people, which, don't get me wrong, it's got me a fair amount of business. So that being said, it's not always enough to keep the lights on. There are times when I do have to get out and do some outreach and do some cold calling and actually talk to people in order to let them know that, hey, did you know that this business exists? And much to my surprise, no, not everyone knows that content marketing as a business exists, which I mean, I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. I did not know it was a business until I managed to stumble my way into it. But I remember one client in particular, I cold called her and ended up having a couple conversations with her, and she was absolutely interested in my services. But as she said in one of our early conversations, she had no idea that someone like me existed, that she could look for and hire someone like me to create content for her. So that was kind of a light bulb moment for me. It was like, oh, there are people out there who need me and want me and don't even know to look for me. So as an SEO person, that's kind of a pickle, isn't it? And I was thinking about this, especially talking to, again, another client who works in the healthcare space and has a unique approach to solving a particular problem for her clients. But because it's so unique, it's very niche, people don't know to look for it. So I, of course, started talking about SEO because that's what I do. And she's like, well, but people aren't searching for me because they don't know it exists. Well, okay, here's the thing. They might not be searching for your services. That doesn't mean they're not searching for a solution to their problem. And that's where you need to hone in on. So here are my tips for you if you are trying to get the word out about a business and it's totally new. No one has seen anything like this before. No one knows to look for this. Actually, good example is it's on Etsy, the fabulous creator of things that no one knew they needed, right? And it has it's like a flag. It looks like a little flag, but it's felt and you can pin pins onto it. And it's titled Bookish Pins. So it is specifically a flag that you put all your bookish pins that you've collected onto this flag, which is perfect because yeah, I've collected a number of bookish pins without meaning to. They just kind of find their way to me, being someone who likes books a little bit. So I stumbled across this. I was like, oh, this is a solution to a problem I did not know I had. But it's fabulous, and now it's in my little reading nook, and I don't have pins all over my dresser just cluttering that up and annoying me, right? So that's what I'm talking about. There are things that people just stumble across and go, oh, I didn't even know I could look for this. So if you are the business owner trying to convince people, hey, I have this great service, you need this, it'll change your life. How do you market that if no one's looking for it? So there are two ways around this. The first one is to steal their traffic, right? Because if they're not looking, this is especially true of the person who was, they're not looking for my services, they're looking for this other service, the person in the healthcare space. Okay, so write about that other service, steal their traffic. People do this all the time. You'll see this in digital ads if you ever Google something or whatever your search engine of choice is. And Google does it all the time where you will see ads pop up. Let's say what was I searching for? I think I was searching for, because I recently launched my podcast. So I was looking for podcast streaming options. And I searched for one in particular. And it did show up, but it was like fourth or fifth down the line. The first three were all ads for other podcast streaming services, right? So it's like, okay, yeah, we'll show you what you need. But the people running those ads are specifically asking their ads to target keywords related to their competitors because they are hoping to catch some of those people on their way who aren't paying attention to what the links they're clicking on, or they just don't care enough. Maybe they're searching for a particular product or service, and if they don't see it right away, they see a different one. Maybe they don't care enough to keep scrolling. They're just going to find the one that hits at the top and go, okay, maybe this has what I need. And then they're hoping to, of course, engage and convert those leads. So that is always an option. You can always write about if someone is looking for a particular service and you offer a competing service, you can absolutely write content about why this service does not work. And here's what to do instead. That's what we call a clickbait article, right? And I don't mean clickbait in a bad word. I think as long as your content fulfills the promise of the headline, there's nothing wrong with being clickbaity. You have to convince people to click through to your website if you're going to engage and convert them. So there's a reason you see that all the time, right? This thing you think works does not work. And here's what to do instead. So instead of being one of those clickbaity, really shallow, thin content pieces that we have come to associate with clickbait, you can actually have a very thoughtful, in-depth piece about, I've worked with this, I've had clients who struggle with this, and they try this solution and it just does not work. And here's why it does not work. Here's what I do instead. Here's why what I do instead works. Or if you really want to be tricky, you can be like, you know what? If you have this particular situation, yeah, you should go try that instead. But if you have a different situation, maybe you should come talk to me. And that is so powerful for your ideal clients. First of all, it's going to let the people you don't want to talk to know right away that you don't want to talk to them. And so they're gonna click away and you don't have to waste your time on them. But the people who are right for you, that will be so powerful as far as making them go, oh, she's talking directly to me. That is exactly what I'm dealing with. I need to go have a conversation with her. Because you know what? That content over there, that isn't really resonating with me. That isn't really speaking to my problem. I need to talk to her over there. So that is one way to be kind of sneaky about it, is to you get the people who are searching for that service, right? I need such and such, where can I find it? You have a better chance of ranking in those searches. But there are probably also searches out there of, does such and such really work? And you're going to get your rank in those searches as well. So now you're getting in front of people who are already a little skeptical. They have a problem. They're aware of the problem. They're looking for a solution, but they're skeptical of the solution that they've heard about. They're open to new ideas. That is an excellent opportunity for you. So try to rank in those searches. And if you have a budget for ads, absolutely pay for some ads, because that would, for those searches, because that would be so beneficial to get people to your website when they are in that scenario. So that's number one, is to just steal their organic traffic or their paid traffic if you have the budget for it. Next one, focus on the problem. I guarantee you people are searching for solutions to their problem, right? So if we get back to the health issue they're dealing with, maybe they're not searching for a solution. Maybe they're just going, oh, I have this nagging whatever, right? Fill in the blank. And what can I do about it, right? I have not a health situation, a different situation that I'm dealing with right now, that I have just reached my absolute limit and I will do anything to solve this problem once and for all, right? So I am talking to lots of different people and exploring lots of different options to try and figure out how to solve this. So your people are probably doing that too, even if they don't know to look for like, oh, this is the solution. They are looking, I have this problem. What can I do about it? So focus on that. All of your content should be focusing on the problem that you solve and how much better life is for your clients after they work with you. Focus on that. Create tons of content around that. That is what's going to be super valuable. So that is what I do. That is part of what I do for my clients, right? I really help them zero in on what is the problem that they solve, who are they solving it for, what sets them apart, and then how can we get them to actually, click through to the website, take that call to action, work their way all the way through the buyer journey, all the way to handing over their money. Because that's what it's all about, right? Finally, getting them to sign on the dotted line. So that is part of what I do, is helping people figure that out. And I'm not saying that you should hire me and don't bother with cold calling, because as this story demonstrates, I absolutely partake in cold calling and it has gotten me the occasional client. So I'm not trying to bash cold calling, but I'm a marketer and I have this marketing brain and I'm always looking for a marketing solution to a problem, right? That's just how my brain works. But there's also, when outreach and marketing are working together, they're both more effective, because if when you're doing outreach, you're talking to your prospects, you're hearing the objections, you're hearing about the problems they're struggling with, you're hearing about what they've already tried to solve this problem before reaching out to you, right? So now you can incorporate all of that into your marketing content. And now you can attract more people who are in that same situation, who are looking for a solution and they're not sure where to look, but just by golly, they're gonna find out a solution because they cannot live with this situation anymore. So that is what I do is I help you really zero in on that and create awesome messaging that works with your outreach. So your outreach is more powerful with your marketing, and your marketing is also more powerful when you get that input from whether it's you doing outreach, whether it's your sales team doing outreach. They are always better together. So that is it. That is what I have for you today. So if you have more questions like this, you can look at my website. There's more information about this on my blog at AV, as in my initials, Allison Verhalen. That is avwritingservices.com. And you can reach me directly at info@avwritingservices.com. You can find me over on LinkedIn. I'm Allison Verhalen. I think I'm the only Allison Verhalen on there, so should be pretty easy to find. And of course, I'm here on YouTube as Allison Verhalen, content marketer. And if you've not checked out my podcast, please check out my podcast. It is called The Marketing Spotlight. It is on all the podcast channels, and it is on YouTube. So if you follow me on YouTube, Allison Verhalen, content marketer, you might see a playlist called The Marketing Spotlight. So you can subscribe to that particular playlist and get all the videos of me talking to other marketers. So that is it. That is everything that I have for you today. Have a great week and happy blogging, everyone.